Now this video is a story of a plant. A story of a very special plant, the most special plant. But before we begin the story, we have to step back in time. I have to fill you in on the context of why this plant behind me is so dang special. Let's do this. Oh, look at this. Look how cool this is. Maybe two little guys from in here. Look at those leaves. Isn't that so cool how they've got holes in them? I'm gonna have to take both of these, of course. So now you know why this plant behind me is so special. Now you know why we have to do something special with this plant behind me. Now you know why we have to make a whole video about doing something special with this plant behind me. And it's because it was my OG. It was my first plant. It was the plant that inspired everything. It was the plant that actually knocked me down this rabbit hole. And you could say that it's created this entire space behind me. I'm so jealous of your life gig, Elaine. It just like smells good here, you know? Should I give you a few more descriptive words of what this plant has done for me? It was the spark or the ignition of the engine in my brain that gave birth. It didn't even create a love for all of these plants behind me. It didn't create a love. It rewired my brain, and I kid you not, everything that I'm doing now is actually everything that I knew I loved when I was a kid. And now I'm simply older. I have the resources to actually do the things I love. I have a house so I can grow plants. I've got the internet so I can learn and order products and do all sorts of things like create terrariums like this. I've got some beautiful nurseries right in my area that I go to locally all the time where I can get stuff like this. And sometimes what it takes to create that spark in someone like me, in fact, it's a plant like this right behind me. So this is a Swiss cheese plant, and we're gonna do something special with this plant in this video. It's gonna be something different. It's gonna be a little bit outside of my style, outside of my norm. But we're gonna take this plant right here, and I'm gonna unleash it, and we're gonna start vining up the wall. I think we'll probably go up here, and then maybe, I don't know, will we make it past that corner? How far will we get on this wall? In fact, by golly, I think we just darn near found the name of our video. How far will the Swiss cheese plant get on the wall, or some variation of that anyways? And I'm as curious as you are to see how far this thing is gonna go. So that inspiration, just the curiosity alone, drove me toward this video. But the second reason, and from over here looking back at that corner, we can just kind of see how boring and empty it is, which is sort of how it's supposed to be. You know, that's the entrance, that's where you come into the room. You don't want to immediately be blasted by plants all over you. In fact, I was very hesitant on placing that Swiss cheese plant there in the first place because I was worried that, you know, the door would constantly be messing with the leaves. And I guess that's just one more reason to string that plant up this wall and start climbing it around here. But besides all that, it's just gonna be nice to have a little bit more greenery over here to sort of match the jungle-like monstrosity that I hope to continue growing over here. In fact, the more I get into this plant stuff, as I look back there, I'm not really seeing the clutter of plants anymore. What I'm seeing is all of the open space that I haven't taken advantage of. And that's the kind of idea that we're talking about in this video. That's the special thing that we're doing with my very first plant ever, that Swiss cheese plant in the corner. And it's gonna be exciting to see how far it goes. So enough rambling, let's actually get into it. I've got a pair of wire clippers right here, and we're gonna free the beast. I wanna get rid of all of these twist ties. I guess I could untwist them. That would be awfully painstaking when I can just do that, wouldn't it? And last one, right at the top. Easy as that. I do believe she's free. She's still standing in place. I'm not sure where the end is. See a bit of new growth right there, so that should give us an idea. I think this is the end right here. All right, it's become obvious that I need to find a new spot for you. So I can free up both my hands, of course. Let's get this Swiss cheese plant unvined. Let's get this thing off this pole. Let's actually see, let's take a little guess. Let's start our guessing on how far on the wall this thing is actually gonna go. I'll bring my step stool over maybe, and I'll pull it up as high as I can go, and you can take your guesses. No prizes or anything like that. Come on, guys. Look at the channel, I'm not that big at all. Well, I think it actually would go up to the roof. I would say, so these are 10-foot ceilings, and I would say that this is about 11 feet or so. So my guess is that I'm gonna climb it up the wall, obviously. You basically just saw that. My guess is we're gonna make it to right about here. I'm gonna kind of stay in the middle, and I think we'll make it right to about here. And you know what the coolest thing about this is gonna be? You know what the awesomest thing about all this is gonna be? When you were a kid, did your parents ever like put your back up against a wall, put a ruler on your head and make a little mark and show, you know, Timmy, age 4, this tall, and then Timmy, age 7, this tall? Well, this is gonna be Planty, Swiss cheese Planty, age, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 months. Anyways, it's making me think about, you know, lining up against the wall and getting my little height checked. I never did kind of get as far up that wall as I wanted to, but you know what? I'm happy with what I got. Now, the one thing you might be wondering is what are we gonna actually use to attach this to the wall? And there's gonna be all sorts of different ways you can do this. But in my situation, I'm gonna use some command hooks. I'll even show you one of these. They'll look kind of like this. And obviously we're not going to be able to shove the vine into this thing, but then I'm going to take some of my twist ties, just like we cut off the moss pole, and I'm going to make little loops that kind of hold the vine up, and hopefully I can kind of, you know, loop it along the wall as best as I can, just adding one more clip at a time. As the vine grows, I'll add one more little clip. And you know, video after video, if you stick with me, we'll get to watch that little Planty go from there to there to there to who knows. Will it make it all the way around the room? I doubt it. We'll have surely had to expand before then. But what if it did, right? What if it just took off magically? What if it was Jack and the flippin' Beanstalk and this thing, and I came in tomorrow and the vine was all the way around the room? Have you ever thought about if that happened, what would you actually think? You know what I think I would actually think? I think I would be shocked. I think I would grab the camera. I think I would make a video about it, and I'd say, guys, look at, I have it documented. I put the vine right there. It grew all the way around the room in one night. And I think everybody would say, oh, you know, this is fake news. This is fake editing. You just waited like 3 years and then made another video and made sure that your hair and your shirt and everything was exactly the same to make it work and all that. And then I would have my core believers, probably some of you guys, that would say, you know what, Ryan, it's flippin' magic. We experienced magic together. And we'd relish in that for a while, and we'd talk about how great it was, and we'd talk about how amazing plants were. We'd talk about how amazing that Swiss cheese plant in that corner was. And you know, we'd be over it. We'd accept it. We'd move on. It would just be a part of life. And the magic, isn't it funny that the magic ends once the magic is experienced? Was that a good enough rant to transition into actually starting to hang the Swiss cheese plant up the wall? So first things first, let's get our first little doodad, our little hook on the wall. Again, command strips, little things that you can buy for, I don't know, come in like a 50 pack or a 20 pack or something like that. It's just a delicate little hook. I'm sure there's a more dedicated tool to doing this sort of thing, but these are what I'm going to use. Let's stop rambling and let's get the first one on the wall so we can get this party rolling. But let's not forget our twist ties. I think we should put our first hook maybe right in here somewhere. Want to see the coolest thing about these twist ties? Look at this, I just pull my length. It's even got a built-in little snipper. Amazon. I get most of my stuff on Amazon. I get most of my live stuff on Etsy. I get most of my not live stuff on sometimes other websites, but a lot of it Amazon. And you know, as much local shopping as I can do as well. So to get started, I'm going to hold our plant up here. I'm connecting right about in here, so I'm going to put my twist tie around just for convenience. I'm kind of hoping that it anchors on with this little root down here, this little leaf. And then we just want to, you know, hold it in, try not to bury it into the actual leaf, and give it a couple twists. The first twist is always the hardest when you're twisting twist ties. And then, hey, while we're doing it up close, I usually save this part for the end. But you can come in here and you can just kind of give this clip a little clippy. And then you've got yourself a nice professional little loop. So we'll pull this around. We'll see if it reaches up to our hook. All right. Now I'm going to let go, and we're going to hope We're gonna back up slowly while I let go. We'll see if the Swiss cheese plant stays on the wall. With this first, I sure hope it does because it's looking so cool already. Yeah, believe it, we're seeing it together. That's our very first Swiss cheese plant growing up the wall, making its way up to the top of that door. We might even get a little bit further than I thought in the first place. Why didn't you show us how to do the hooks, Ryan? I didn't show you how to do the hooks because it's a pretty dang simple process, guys. You take a little command hook like that. You got a sticker like that. One says wall side. You rip the other one off. You stick it onto the back of your hooker. We head back over here to the wall. We pick us the next spot. We've got that one right there, so maybe we'll go up. But we don't have to go too often. I think we could probably make it. We're definitely going to want to have one on the corner. Maybe let's just go for the corner now, huh? No, you know what? We're going to start down here. We're actually going to come up to kind of the middle up there. So maybe I'll do another one right about here. Why don't I tell you the story of the place that I got this plant while I continue stringing its luscious vine up the wall. I got this place at a local nursery called Griff's greenhouse. Actually, it's really close to me. It was when I was starting my outdoor garden that I happened to find this Swiss cheese plant in one of the greenhouses. I fell in love with it. I had to have it. I took it home. I didn't even know it was a houseplant at that time. And it grew outside for the longest time. It grew out in my outdoor garden all summer long. I just thought it was super cool how it vined like this. So as it would grow, I would just kind of snake it through my garden. And then as I started becoming more educated, I started falling more and more in love with houseplants. I realized, well, I think someone actually left a comment and said, by golly, that Swiss cheese plant right there is a houseplant. I hope you know that. It's not going to make it through the winter. And I said, well, you know, for now it's been a fun experiment, but I guess it's time to get this old Swiss cheese plant into my office so that at some point in the near future we can be stringing it up along the wall. But I've gone off topic. Back to the actual greenhouse, Griff's greenhouse, where I got this place. The one thing I want to say about that place, and I don't think she'll ever watch this video, so I think it'll be just fine, is I don't think that Elaine, the owner, I don't think she liked me very much. I don't know what it was. Hello. Are you Griff?
I'm Elaine.
Elaine Griff?
Griff is the dog.
Oh, Griff the dog.
It's named after the puppy dog.
I'm Ryan. I'm doing a video. Is that okay?
What are you doing it for?
I tried to. I think it was because I tried to impress her. I even mentioned it in the video. I think I warmed her up a little bit. If I didn't warm her up yet, I'll warm her up with my delightful personality on the way out. I just didn't get the vibe that she got my style, that she liked me very much. I don't think she liked that I was filming. I think she kind of just, you know, was busy and wanted me out of her greenhouse. You know, fair enough. I showed up unannounced. I started waving my camera around and doing all sorts of weird things. I can understand her frustration with me as well. But after I finished making that video, I sent her over the final shot of it after I'd uploaded it and everything like that. And I just wanted to share the video with her, so I sent her a nice message. I never heard from her. I don't think she really liked it. I don't think she must not have liked how I portrayed her or her greenhouse or something like that. But I actually really liked the place. I reached out to her a few times and I asked her if I could even come there and help and run a greenhouse and make videos and do all sorts of stuff. And I never really heard back. So I don't know. So since then I've chosen not to think about it too much until today, until we had the time to share that story as I strung our Swiss cheese plant up along the wall. I'm actually kind of starting to get why people like this look. I didn't understand before, but now I never really thought it was me, but now I'm kind of looking around to see if I got any other vining plants that might work. I'm looking at you over there, Blue Pothos. Look how tall this one is. This one almost angles maybe 4 feet. We'll give it a few more feet, and who knows, maybe in a future video we'll be stringing this one up on the wall. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about seeing how far that Swiss cheese plant is going to go. Now, I will be honest about one thing. I expected it to go further than that. I actually expected us to kind of wrap around this corner and even start coming back over here on top of the window. I'm not sure why. In my imagination, the vine was a lot longer. But here's the thing I didn't expect. Here's the one thing that I never expected, was just how flippin' cool that was going to look. It looks amazing. And even better than that, we're not even done. We can still string one more hook up there. We can make a little way over to the door. Then we'll officially know how far, we'll finally know how far the very special OG Swiss cheese plant from Griff's greenhouse. And Elaine, if you ever do happen to see this, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you not only did the Swiss cheese plant back there, but you, Elaine, you were part of the inspiration that's created all of this behind me. That's created, where I am today. That's should I actually be thanking you, Elaine? I don't know. I've fallen a little deep down the rabbit hole, and sometimes I do scare myself. Let's not think about that though. Let's get this final hook placed up on the wall there and see how far this Swiss cheese plant goes. You want to know another little secret? I actually filmed a video right before this, and I was wearing my black Yeti shirt, and then I decided to start filming this video, but I changed my shirt because I didn't necessarily want two videos to have the same shirt in a row. I used to just wear black shirts to avoid all that sort of stuff. I'm expanding my horizons a little bit. I'm pulling some of my other faves out, like this North Face here. But nonetheless, I just thought it was kind of funny that I changed my clothes to make this video. The reason I thought about that is because in that last video, I did a cool shot where I went zoop, zoop. Sorry, I had to do the sound really loud on that one because I had to go all the way up the vine to get to the next one. And then I realized at the top I hadn't decided where to stick my little thing, so I just stuck it real quick and I ended the sound. And zap. Put you in there a little nicer. There we go. A little adjustment. Dang, you're looking good climbing up that wall, Swiss cheese plant. I think it's a bloody honor that you're doing this for me. And it's a bloody honor to do it for you as well. You know what? This is another one of those situations. This is another one of those moments. This is another one of those symbiotic relationships between, well, in this situation, plant and man here. Where I don't know why that made me laugh, but it just... And as a result, we got a pretty awesome looking Swiss cheese plant growing up the wall. We even got a little dangle over the doorway there. I think in some future video, we're going to be taking the end of that vine and stringing it all along this wall up here. And you know what I'm really wishing right now? You know what I'm really wishing? You know what I'm really wishing? I'm wishing that I had actually pre-prepared and had one of those Swiss cheese plants growing for at least a few years, prior to this one. And I'd been saving it and I hadn't told anybody about it. I'd been planning this whole thing from back then. And I really could wake up tomorrow and have the whole wall surrounded by that plant and fool everybody, and actually do the video editing trick. But unfortunately, I'm living in the moment. I'm going step by step. I didn't pre-plan long enough, and all we got is an OG Swiss cheese plant crawling up the wall, making its way half over the door, and a whole lot more room left to grow. But there is one more thing, and I didn't want to tell you before, old girl, because we've now got you attached to the wall in a more permanent position, and you're looking stunning, I might add, before I break the news to you. But we're no longer going to be able to have, room temperature showers together anymore. That's the one, if I can think of one downside to doing this, that's the only thing that's going to kind of suck, is that I can't, pick this Swiss cheese plant up, haul it over into the shower, give it a nice drench under the rainy shower head. I think she's going to miss it, but I think she's going to enjoy crawling up this wall even more. Oh, come on, every time I finally put the camera away, I have to pick it back up because I just found an even better view with the door open. Who knew? We've got our vine crawling over the door. We've even got Ralphie licking himself on the couch back there. And the reason I think this is such a cool shot is because these two plants kind of tie into the background. And that, my friends, is what we call a line of sight, or at least that's what I call a line of sight. Do you call it a line of sight, Ralphie? Stop looking at yourself for a second. Do you call it a line of sight? No? You busy? Yeah. Go on. Enjoy that sunshine. I'm converted. I'm one of those plant guys that likes to have a vine growing up the wall.